Hello, all. Welcome to this curiosity chat on sustainable tourism. Having grown up in Turkey with a love for clean oceans, organic agriculture, and having traveled all my life for personal purposes as well as business purposes, and recently developed sensitivity for plastic use, especially in local markets near the oceans. I am I was extremely happy to be connected with Görkem Karakuş and follow her on LinkedIn and learn more about sustainable tourism. Just briefly, and you can find out more on her LinkedIn profile, Görkem Karakuş, who has decades of diplomatic and public service experience in tourism promotion, is also a lifelong learner and volunteer for sustainable tourism. And with that, we're connected in the same passion. Görkem Hanım, how did you get inspired about this topic? I'm curious, and what did you discover?
Thank you, Shirin Hanım. Thank you for offering me to be your guest on this beautiful Earth Day. What a nice coincidence that today, the Earth Day. So I'm so happy, and it's my pleasure to talk about my experiences, how I inspired to be a responsible tourist, and how I inspired for learning more about sustainable tourism. So yeah, as you said, Shirin Hanım, our mutual passion is sustainability. I grown up in Turkey too, and I have been working for government for about 20 years in the tourism industry as an auditor. So I feel myself very lucky to see abroad, especially for about 10 years, including the USA, where we met. I spent my 3 years in the USA. And during my tenure, I have been dealing marketing tourism and making and planning tourism strategies as an auditor. So since 2019, and since auditing is my primary job, I have always curious around what is going about around me. I have always feeling curious around me and my society, my neighborhood, and my professional. So after 2019, this curiosity feeling took me another journey, which is sustainable tourism. In 2015, at that time, my post was in the USA. I was the cultural attaché in the USA at the Turkish embassy. The United Nations adopted 2030 Agenda for Sustainable Development. After this time, I will say SDGs, and which introduced 17 Sustainable Development Goals, SDGs. So these goals serve as a global blueprint for achieving peace, prosperity, and sustainability for the people and for the planet. The SDGs address critical issues such as poverty, inequality, climate change, environmental degradation, and justice. All these issues inspired me for sustainable tourism, and tourism industry, is in the intersection of many of these criteria. Then I found myself deeply delved into sustainable tourism.
I can only see that as a traveler. Tourism is so at the intersection of the experience, right? The destination experience and everything around.
Exactly.
And how do you see the importance of this growing in the future? What is the importance of having a focus on sustainable tourism?
Well, sustainable tourism in general refers to tourism practices that minimize negative impacts on the environment, society, and economy while maximizing the benefits for local communities and preserving cultural heritage. So it aims to ensure that tourism contributes positively to the well-being of destinations and their inhabitants, not only now, but also in the future. And in that point, we can ask ourselves how sustainable tourism align with UN SDGs. Sustainable tourism, as I said before, intersects with several UN SDGs, including, for example, Goal 1, no poverty. For example, Goal 8, decent work and economic growth. Tourism creates jobs and support local economies, especially in developing countries, and also promotes fair wages and ethical working conditions. For example, Goal 12, responsible consumption and production. And what else could be? Goal 14, life below water, protects marine life, marine ecosystem by promoting responsible tourism activities like diving and fishing. And also Goal 11, sustainable cities and communities. It preserves cultural heritage and promotes sustainable urban tourism and also rural tourism, encourages infrastructure development that benefits both tourists and the residents. So sustainable tourism, Shirin Hanım, is a very powerful tool for achieving UN SDGs, as it fosters inclusive growth, which is very important, environmental protection, and cultural preservation. So during my curiosity journey, I wonder how we achieve these goals in the tourism industry as a practice. So when I have been searching these subjects, I met with Global Sustainable Tourism Council, GSTC, and GSTC criteria. Although there are a lot of certification systems and CBs, certification bodies related to sustainable tourism, its certification system attracted me more when I searched deeply, and I took 2 courses on sustainable tourism. One is Sustainable Tourism Professional course, and the other is auditing. So according to my experiences, after taking these courses, I realized that there are a lot of things to do to make an industry. I don't want to bore you, but let me just give you a short information about the GSTC criteria, because there are more than 40 criteria in the
Yes,
industry.
it can be helpful for all who are not in the field. It will be very helpful.
Yeah. These criteria involves hotel and accommodations. These criteria involves tour operators, and newly criteria just begin to apply attractions, MICE, and even the food industry, and so on. So I just want to briefly talk about 8 main criteria against GSTC criteria, which outlines the minimum performance. For example, a hotel, you are a tourist and you travel a lot. Why you should pick up to stay in a certified hotel? Number 1, local purchasing. It encourages the use of locally sourced products. Number 2, decent work, ensuring fair wages and working conditions. Number 3, environmentally preferable purchasing. You can avoid products from endangered species. You can reduce single-use plastics. Number 5, efficient purchasing. You can implement energy-saving measures like LED lighting and renewable energy. Number 6, water conservation, using water-efficient equipment and practices. Number 7, greenhouse gas emissions. Support initiatives like vegetarian menus or electric vehicle charging stations. And number 8, solid waste. You can reduce your waste to the landfills. So these requirements, these minimum 8 requirements related to environment, related to social and economic growth, and related to preserving cultural heritage, these all aim to prevent greenwashing and encourage genuine sustainability efforts.
Yes, amazing, amazing, especially when one is not really in the field and doesn't know of all these efforts. What showed up for me is your high regard for a global perspective, and then your high regard for its impact locally and how local value can be created. And it's good for tourists.
Exactly.
As well as the business community, it sounds like, tourists and business community. As we wrap up our chat here, what do you advise us all to be curious about in co-creating value through sustainable tourism?
Actually, I would like to advise you to be a responsible tourist and interest with regenerating tourism and responsible tourism. So being a responsible tourist for sustainable tourism is very important issues to embrace all curiosity for more sustainable tourism, which involves making conscious choices that minimize harm to the environment, support local communities, and preserve cultural heritage. These three of them are the pillar of being a sustainable tourism and tourist. So, and let me give some examples here about some key ways to practice sustainable tourism. For example, environmental responsibility. You can reduce your carbon footprint. Choose eco-friendly transportation options like trains or buses over planes, or choose for direct flights. Conserve resources. You can say no to single-use plastics. You can bring your own reusable bottles, your bags, your utensil, or respect wildlife. Observe animal from a safe distance and avoid activities to exploit them. And when it comes to support local communities, what you can do? You can buy from local, shop from local artisans, and eat at locally owned restaurants to support local economy and the residents. Or respect cultural practices, learn about their custom, their traditions of the destination, and engage respectfully. Or choose responsible tours, like you work with the tour operators or the accommodations, and you can stay there, and your choose could be certified hotels or tour operators. And when it comes to preserving cultural heritage, you can follow guidelines, adhere to rules at cultural sites, and avoid touching or damaging artifacts. Or ask before you photograph. Always seek permission before taking photos of people or culturally sensitive areas, sensitive locations. And the most important thing is learn and share, I think. Educate yourself. Please educate yourself about destination's history and promote its richness to the others. And volunteer thoughtfully. This is also very important key ways. You can support ethical programs. If you wish to be a volunteer, you can choose organizations that genuinely benefit the community rather than exploit it. Or you can be mindful intentions, ensure your efforts align with the needs of the destination rather than your own choices or your own convenience. And last but not least, evaluate yourself, evaluate your travel choices. Always ask yourself, follow your steps, look into carbon offset programs for your flights and trips, and stay in green accommodations. Finally, Şirin Hanım, I want to say that sustainable tourism is about ensuring that your travel positively impacts that destinations you visit while leaving them in bad conditions for the future generations. And every small effort counts and can make a big impact. Thank you.
Wow, thank you so much for sharing these very, very valuable insights. There are probably so many tourists who would like to show up in eco-friendly ways, that value the SDGs. They hear about it, they read in the newspapers. And I've been facilitating sustainability strategy and ideas in a global chemical firm the past 8 years. One of the thoughts that keeps coming up is, are consumers aware? Okay, we're going to integrate sustainability strategies into our business activities, but will consumers value what we do? Will they value? So it's shared economic value through shared impact. If we all think about this and what our role is in this puzzle, it looks like we will be able to create the impact we want and create the economic value that can drive that impact that is so important to the livelihood of the destinations as well as everyone else. Thank you very much for this opportunity to talk together.
Thank you, Shirin. It was my pleasure. I hope I can convey my experiences to be a responsible tourist on this beautiful Earth Day. Thank you.
Thank you.